How's you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. I love when you drop in the shop. Thank you very much. A while back I made a video about my Husqvarna lawn tractor, and it got hydrolocked. The float needle valve in the carburetor stuck open and the carburetor flooded with gas, like normally happens when an engine hydrolocks. But anyway, my estate car has been laid up now for quite a while, and I figured it's about time for me to get off my duff and go get that fixed. And the last time I had that running, it was puffing out white smoke and it was dripping gas and oil underneath coming out of the muffler and everywhere. So I'm not sure if the estate car is hydrolocked as well or if there's something more serious going on. So I'm going to go get the estate car, bring it in the shop here, and we're going to start a little bit of diagnostics, see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put fuel in it because, of course, because the carburetor leaked fuel and hydrolocked the engine, I think, we drained the tank. So here's my fuel dolly. By the way, I've upgraded it already. Remember I talked about the toggle switch? It wasn't a center off position. Well, I got my center off position switch in it. It came in the mail the other day. So there's yellow for diesel, center's off, neither pump works and it's off. Diesel doesn't go, or gas doesn't go, and diesel doesn't go. So we're going to pump gas today, so I select gas, take my blue nozzle, I'm not going to put a lot of gas in it because if it's going to continue to leak, I don't want to dump the gas out on the floor, right? So that ought to be enough. Just enough to, you know, wet its whistle. So we'll put the nozzle back in there and switch to the middle position so no pump will go inadvertently. So that's good. First thing, we're going to check the oil. Oh, you die. Yeah, just one second, I'll show you something here. There's the full mark, and there's the level is. You could burn that. That's almost mixed 40 to 1 in there. You can put that in an outboard motor. One other quick test I can do before I drain the oil, just to confirm that it was the carburetor bowl float that was leaking. The gas is turned on now, so let's just get this cover off. Yeah, look, there's gas in there already. And it's leaking on the floor already. Look at that. Oh man. So I better shut this off before it starts to cost me money. So yeah, there's something in that carburetor holding the bowl open. So I just thought I'd take you along when I drain the oil just to show you how liquidy it gets. So we're just going to unplug this cap down here, see if we can get my drain line on it. There we go. Okay. Now that just turns and pulls. Now there we go. I had to turn it the other way. So that oil, listen to it. Boy. Can you hear that? Oil doesn't normally make that kind of a noise when it's draining, eh? Good grief. You know, because there was so much gas in there, there's still gas left in the crank, in the sump. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to take the carburetor off and clean that. I'm going to put some oil in there and then we'll start it up. We'll run it for, I don't know, 10 minutes, not even, 5 minutes maybe. Shut it down and drain the oil and then put another batch of oil in it because, no, I don't want to run it like that. If you put oil in there now in that sump the way it is, it'll just thin itself right out and it won't be any good. Okay, I'm going to take the carb off next. It's hard to take a carb apart without turning it around, and once you turn it around, of course, the needle should move. But it was definitely leaking oil while it was on the tractor. So I'm hoping when I take this apart I find some grit in there, so let's have a go at it. I'm just checking the size of this float fiber washer here. It looks to be in decent shape. So I'll set that aside. Now we'll take the bowl, well, the bowl's off, and take that. And this is what I'm happy to find. Look at this. Hope you can see that in there. That looks like, you know, dirty. Yeah. Grit and slime. So you know what? I've got a fuel filter on this, and I'm going to change the fuel filter too, because obviously it's not doing its job. So other than the dirt, the bowl is pretty clean. Just going to take this needle valve out. And if I look at the needle, now you probably won't be able to see that because I can hardly see it, but it looks, you know, good. So I'm going to get some carb cleaner, and I'm going to go through all the ports on the carburetor here and blow them all out and clean them. There is a lot of green showing up on this carburetor, which I'm kind of disappointed in, because I use Sta-Bil in my fuel, and usually Sta-Bil will address that green slime that forms in the gas that has ethanol in it. I don't know what happened there this time, but there's a lot of green showing up around here, like even it stains green. So I put the choke lever on first, then the throttle spring here, if I can get a hold of it. And I was talking about changing the fuel filter, so we put our new fuel filter in. And by the way, there's directions on these filters, direction of flow. There's a little arrow on the side of it, and it says this one shows the arrow going that way, so that's the way we're putting it in, because we want the fuel to flow towards the carb. Everything seems to be in order, so we can put this on, and the gasket is already on this plate, so we've got that looked after too. Snug that up, put this back in the valve cover here, this valve cover breather tube. Now we're going to turn the fuel on and see if the carb leaks. Nothing yet. Okay, before I go any further, I'm just going to let that sit there for, I don't know, 20 minutes, just see what happens, see if we get any leaks. I don't expect that we will. But while we're waiting, I'm going to get some oil ready to put in it. And you know what? I'm thinking I might even change the oil filter, because this filter, the engine ran while it was hydrolocked, so this filter is probably filled with gas and oil as well. This is not the proper filter for the machine, it's just a filter I had. It's an old filter from Canadian Tire and it fit, so I put it on. Ew. I don't think it should be that tight, but it is, so there you go. There we go. That didn't do too bad. Alright, I'm just going to dump that in there. One thing about a filter like this that goes on vertical like this from the bottom, you can save yourself a little wear and tear in your engine by filling it with oil. So we'll do that. I think that ought to be good. And then we'll take a little bit of oil and just smear it on the gasket. Because my hands are so oily, I'm just going to use this wrench to snug it up. Another thing too is I took the spark plug out to check the plug, and it was, well, I'll show you here in a minute, it was dark and dirty, and so I think I'm going to change the plug too. Just on the stick a little bit, so we need some more. So yeah, okay, I was going to show you the spark plug. Here we go. pretty dark, eh? And it's wet. So yeah, terrible. So I'm going to put a new plug in it. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So I just finished putting the plug in. It's been about 5 minutes now since we had the fuel turned on. No signs of leaks there. There is a leak here on the floor of oil, but that's coming out the carburetor. So that's going to be scary when I start it up. I think while we're at it, this has kind of been saturated with gas as well. I think I'll change the air filter. I don't want to let it run too long because the cowling's not on it, the engine doesn't cool right. Plus I think now that I've heated up the exhaust, that'll burn off the oil, so I'll just let it sit there and smoke. But I want to check the oil now and see what the level is. I think we need more oil. That should be good. No signs of any gas leaking there now. But I'm going to leave the gas on, let it sit here for 20 minutes and I'll come back and check it. Well, I got away lucky again, eh? Like I thought with the engine being hydrolocked like that, maybe it was something more serious than what it was. Sure was filled with gas, oh man. But anyways, it looks like it's going to be okay, other than it's smoking, and it filled the shop with smoke right now, so I got to get out of here pretty quick. But I think it's going to be all right, but it's got a new filter, new fuel filter. Hopefully it's going to keep crud out of the carburetor bowl, because I'm pretty sure the amount of dirt that was in that bowl, that's why the float stuck open and it flooded. But anyways, let me know what you think. Do you think the engine is still good in this rig or what? Take care, folks. Sure hope you have a great week wherever you are. And thumbs up me, eh? Don't forget, that's important. We'll talk to you.